County, we went to Pickens County, and then we went to one in Oconee County. But we traveled to all those sites on 4 different days, visited to look at both the design team and the CM at Risk firm, and some we could double dip and get both of them. Then we came back and we had interviews with each of the final 3 for each area with all of our committee. And once that was done, we settled on 2 that we will offer our contracts to. And remember, this will cover us for the next 5 years, and we can work. We picked 2 CM at Risk firms and 2 A&E firms so that we create a little competition, and then we can have some things. If we've got a big project going on with one, then maybe some of the other stuff we can use someone else. I'll go to the A&E first because in the A&E, we actually ended up selecting Jumper Carter Cease and McMillan Passing and Smith, the 2 we had. We had a 3rd finalist, but those 2 stood out above that. We do have one change in the CM at Risk. We have Trail Corporation is one of the ones that was chosen again. But this time we also have Thompson Turner Construction with their office in Greenville. They did a good presentation. We saw some quality work that they had done, and we were impressed by what they had to offer, and they're willing to help us. I think our number was cut down because we have the big Seneca Middle project going right now, and that's going to take up a lot of our funding for at least half of this term. So when people found that out, it's a pretty arduous proposal process to go through, so they didn't want to really do that. But we felt like we had some really good candidates, and it was tough to narrow down, but we are excited about the 4 companies that we have to work with for the next 5 years.
Very good.
Very time-consuming process.
I know, and I appreciate all the time y'all put into it. I know it was some long days, but it's great that we have a team that goes and makes these decisions, so thank y'all very much. All right. Mrs. Simmons, our assessment update.
Yes, we are in the midst of the end of the year assessment season, so just met with Dr. Bibb this morning to just give y'all a quick update of where we were. At the elementary level, last week, our students in grades 3 through 5, they finished both days of their ELA, SC Ready testing, so the writing and the reading portion, and they will take their math SC Ready testing tomorrow. And then, as you all know, we do not test any social studies for state testing in the elementary and the middle school grades, but we do at particular grades for science. So our 4th graders will take SC Pass Science on Thursday of this week. For middle school, today they just started their testing. They just finished up in grades 6 through 8 the writing portion of the ELA testing. They will take reading tomorrow. They will take math on Thursday, and then our 6th graders will take science on Friday. I know we have just switched back to Work Keys, which is our career readiness assessment. So all of our high schools are finished with that. That window closed on April the 29th. And our AP testing started today. That will go on through May the 13th. And then our EOC testing for our Carnegie unit courses at the middle school level and high school level. Those take place the last 15 days of the school year, so May 6th through the 17th is our window for those. And then at our high schools, they've set their own exam schedules, so we've kind of let parents know if they have questions about that, just to contact their child's school. But that's where we're at. Dr. Bibb says everything's going very well. So we want to thank our administrators, teachers, and our students and the parents for getting their students to school on time to help with testing. So it's going well.
It's a busy time in school.
Yeah, it is.
Mm-hmm.
And there's so many.
Yes.
Yeah, it just seems like a lot.
And Mr. Hamby said we are back live. So if anyone is watching live or even watching a recording later, sorry for the technical glitch, but no action has been taken, just a couple of discussion items, and we'll get to the public hearing now.
At this time, we're going to open the floor for a public hearing on the FY '23 general fund budget. This gives anyone an opportunity to ask questions, to comment on the budget that we have proposed for the 2022-2023 school year. So at this time, is anyone here to make comment on that? All right. Well, then we'll close that session of public hearing. All right, Mrs. Moore, our food service contract update.
Okay, so, our food service contract with Sodexo was officially, our 5 years ended last year, and we extended for one additional year to this year for, sending out the RFP for, the next year. That's a long process. It started in February, and it ended Thursday. We had a committee of 7 people, a food service manager, an assistant principal, our nurse supervisor, director of the alternative school, food service accountant, and I were on the committee. We had presentations on Thursday. There were 5 companies who submitted proposals for the contract. The evaluation process included, there were several criteria that we were using for determining who would be the next contract winner. There was no discussion among the people on the committee. We each scored the presentations separately. No one discussed it. And the winner was the nutrition group from Pennsylvania. Their score was the highest. It's not a reflection necessarily on the staff that we have with Sodexo. April's done a great job. We really love her. But the process is very regulated by the State Department. Every step along the way, we had to send in information. They reviewed the entire RFP. They reviewed our evaluation sheets. They also said that we could not go forward with the intent to award until the board approves this recommendation. There's a 10-day protest period, and we would like to get that started as soon as possible. So we're asking that you, if you would like to approve this intent to award to the nutrition group from Pennsylvania.
Obviously, time is of the essence, but I do want to acknowledge we've got several folks here tonight. Our leadership group from Sodexo is here, and like Ms. Moore said, they're great. So this is definitely not a reflection of them. But then there's some other employees here that will be faced with hopefully switching employers, that they would, if they want to remain in their position, they would transition to the new food service provider here. So we've got some folks that have a lot of skin in the game and who do a great job for our students every day. So I do want to acknowledge them for being here and thank them for what they do. But this is obviously very, very timely, so we really didn't even want to wait until next week because a new company has to be providing lunch by August.
Actually, they would take over July 1st of the summer program under this contract.
All right, anybody have any questions for Mrs. Moore about the process or anything that's done?
There is a sample, if someone wanted to make a motion, not
Yeah.
putting words in your mouth,
No,
but
that's
just
fine.
to help you phrase it. There's one that Ms. Moore wrote.
Do we feel confident that the food quality and all of that is gonna remain higher or at the same level of expectation for this new group?
Yes, and as much as we can be. The presentations were amazing. It was, they brought samples of food for us. By the end of the day, we were like way too full. But it is a 1-year contract that is renewable for 4 more additional years if we're satisfied with this group. If we're not, and in fact, we could get out sooner if there was cause.
Is this group do they have, are they in some of the local schools,
They are
districts
not.
around?
They are not. They just got a contract with another big district in the state a week or so ago. So we'll be on the front lines for them. They've got a lot riding on it being, them being
Okay,
successful.
anyone that was with Sodexo and would like to transfer to this new group, that will be possible?
It will be
for them?
possible, yes, sir. Yes.
And that's one thing, the new company is not out, they're not gonna ship people in from Pennsylvania or somewhere else to take the jobs. They're gonna want to come here and hire the folks that have been experienced and worked in our kitchens, cafeterias. So we anticipate probably almost everyone who
Yes.
wants to remain in our food service program being able to with the new company. Paycheck will come from a different place.
One of the first things they'll do is meet with the current employees, one by one, so.
Any other questions? All right, then I would ask for a motion that we approve the recommendation of the intent to award the food service management contract for the FY 22-23 school year to the nutrition group.
Madam Chair, I'd like to make a motion that we approve the recommendation of the intent to award the food service contract for the new fiscal year 2022-2023 to the nutrition group.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, any more discussion on? All right, all in favor? Okay. All right, and we also had talked about earlier making a date change from, we had originally scheduled the board retreat and combined board meeting for June. It's originally scheduled for June, I thought it was on June 13th originally. And we asked that it be changed to June 6th. So you see here that we need to approve that meeting date from June 13th to June 6th for the board retreat and combined board meeting. Any discussion on that? Has anybody come up with any conflicts or anything? All right,
Madam Chairman, I so move we change the date from the 13th to the 6th,
okay, second?
retreat.
Second.
All right, all in favor? All right, so our board calendar change is approved. And with that, that is the end of our regular meeting. At this time, I would entertain a motion that we adjourn into executive session for personnel items, appointment recommendations, and changes.
So move.
Okay,
Second.
all in favor? All right, thank you. All right, thank each of you for being here tonight.